Steve, it takes guts to drop out like you did.
Higher education comes at the expense of experience.
Boss!
What are you working on?
It's a computer terminal that hooks up to the TV for the display.
Steve?
Wow. These are state of the art. Nobody's making anything like this.
All right, okay.
Welcome to Apple Computer.
Is this everything?
Startup.
Hello, Roxana.
Hey, Matthew. Thanks for being with us today on Palm Beach Rocks.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Great. And we're here talking about the new film, Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs certainly created many tools that we use every day of our lives.
He certainly did. There are a lot of people who feel that in, 100 years that we'll look back on this time as Steve Jobs being kind of a Leonardo da Vinci.
Well said. Now, Matthew, what do you think when you read the script?
Well, I didn't know how they were going to make it into a film because it was such a dense script, so much to learn and to tell in such a short span of time, that what Steve Jobs was able to accomplish from college to his death, are things that, as I say, that people will look back upon and just how Apple Computer changed the world, changed how we communicate with one another, how we entertain ourselves.
Of course. Now, Ashton Kutcher said that when he worked with you on set, it was eerie how close you were to that persona of the essence of Scully. And that's quite a compliment.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, I didn't know that he'd said that. Thank you very much, Ashton. And vice versa, that when there were times when I was working across the table from him that I felt like he was channeling Steve Jobs, that it was eerie how much he looked like him, how he spoke like him, how he moved like him. And he did a terrific job. My hat's off, or my bandana's on to Ashton and his portrayal.
Sure. Now, how did you research for your character? Did you even like him as a person?
Yeah, I met John Scully, and there's, as they say, there's always three truths: his, hers, and the truth. And so the script had portrayed John Scully in a certain light. And I had the pleasure of meeting John Scully, who is an absolute gentleman, a kind man, a generous person, an incredibly bright man, and heard his side of the story. And he was able to make some important corrections of behavior and things that took place in the script that would have been completely inaccurate. And but when you look at biopics, you have to look kind of with squinted eyes, because they're never going to be historically correct. They're I don't know what the word is that I want to use, but they're impressions of people's lives. They can't be completely accurate.
No, of course not. And Scully lives here in Palm Beach, so I've had an occasion to meet him. He was working with another project, Digital Domain, here locally, so that he is quite an executive. He has a persona for sure. Now, did you enjoy working with the director, Joshua Michael Stern? And of course, the whole cast was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. The ensemble of actors that worked in the film was incredible, and a lot of them are my friends. Dermot Mulrooney and Ashton and I have become friends, and Josh Gad. It's just a bunch of really, really talented people. And Joshua Michael Stern is a terrific director who, as I say, I had no idea how he'd take such dense material and such a span of a person's life and be able to make a 2-hour movie of it.
So, I'm going to have to ask you, did you learn anything new about technology?
Just how much I don't know about it. I feel like I'm still kind of an analog person. I'm not really a digital personality, but I love the way that people are able to communicate today. It has its pluses and its minuses, but something like, let's say, Twitter has the ability to give people an opportunity to vent, which is probably a good thing. And it's also a way for people to communicate in a way that they hadn't before and share information. And my feeling is that information is something that empowers people and gives us the ability to solve problems and without violence. And that's one of the most important things that we can learn, is to find a way to have a dialogue with someone rather than using violence to solve our problems.
Now Steve Jobs created something that everyone connects into, and I'm sure you're proud to have worked on a film like this.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I've enjoyed the film, and I can just tell you, audience, you must see the new film Jobs.
The board is unanimous. Steve will no longer be involved in this company.
10 years after Steve Jobs' departure, the future of Apple Computer is in jeopardy.
In life, you only get to do so many things.
We're gonna make Apple cool again.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
If we're gonna do this thing, we need to come up with a name.
Apple.
That is so much better than phaser beam computers.